I'm curious, what was I guess, did they give you a sense of timetable with the surgery of like how long the rehab process will take? And then will you do that in Denver, or do you expect kind of being in different places?
Yeah, it's a little too early to tell, to be honest with you, on the timetable. Obviously, we're expected and to miss the regular season next year, and that is just something that I've come to terms with and accepted, and but it's, for me, it's about taking it one step at a time, and now I'm not so focused on that. I'm focused on getting through with the surgery tomorrow morning, and then really taking it one day at a time, making sure that we do things right, making sure that everything is optimized throughout the rehab process, so that I can come back and play. And I'm confident. Everybody I've talked to and the medical experts that I've consulted with have shared that faith with me as well. So feel good about it. The rehab process will be mostly out of Denver. I put together a team that I feel very confident with, and I'm looking forward to get going. And yeah, I'm excited.
Kyle Frederickson, The Gazette.
Hey, Gabe, through this process of figuring out what's next and just knowing how challenging this road has been for you, at any point did you consider retirement? And just could you just bring us through what your desire is to play and what really motivates you to come back right now?
I have not contemplated retirement at all, to be honest with you. It's just been a matter of finding the best path forward for me, and figuring out, identifying the problem and then figure out a solution. Really, that's how you approach everything in life, I think, and this is no different. Until I've exhausted every option, then I'm just going to keep pushing forward. So I'm excited about it. Like I said, I'm confident about it. Is it going to be a long road? Yeah. But motivating factors are plenty. Obviously, the last time I was on the ice in a game time situation, it was Game 6 and down in Tampa Bay, and we were the winners of the last game of the season. So that's enough motivation in and of it itself. And I think watching our team this year has been very motivating. And there's been so many times where I just wish I could tie up the skates and go out there and play with them. But I know that time will come. I just have to do what's right for my health, and really ultimately do what I can so I'm able to go out there and play with the guys, and continue to chasing more Stanley Cups. And I just feel like we as a team have something really exciting going, and we have a really excited fan base for all the right reasons, and that's why I feel like I think this is the right opportunity for me to make sure that I'm healthy and I can come back and play. So I'm very excited about it.
Pat Graham, Associated Press.
Hey, Gabe, thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Kind of a two-parter here. Have you got any sort of success rate from the doctors on how often this is successful? And is this kind of like a radical surgery, like maybe like a Jack Eichel type back surgery type surgery?
Well, success rate, I think, is above 85%. But the problem, I shouldn't say the problem, but it's an uncommon, I guess it's an uncommon procedure for elite athletes. And the hockey players even more so, but basketball players have done them. And I've actually spoken to Lonzo Ball that just had the same procedure done a couple of months ago, probably at this point. So been able to talk a little bit with him, and he's had a similar last 14 months that I have, with a couple minor procedures and things like that. So I'm confident. It's an injury that's hard to rehab. It's an injury that's hard to sort of, once the injury is done and there's enough damage in there, it's sort of hard to patch the holes without going through this procedure at this time, with the symptoms that I have and with what I'm experiencing. So I'm confident with it. Sorry, Pat, but I think I forgot the second part of your question.
Just is it radical? Is it kind of like a Jack Eichel type surgery? back surgery, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a subjective opinion. I don't think so. I don't see it that way. I've done a lot of research on it. I've read numerous studies on it, the rehab on it. In my mind, it's not a radical surgery, so I would say no.
Jesse Montano, DNVR.
Hey, Gabe. Well, I was going to ask what your confidence level was of you coming back, but you've kind of answered that here over the last couple of questions that you are feeling good. I guess just how hard has this been for you, to make this decision and after missing last season to come to the conclusion that you're going to sit out next year? Just how hard has this whole process been, the decision making for you?
Yeah, I think, it goes up and down, and there are times where it's harder than others. But I think once, the press conference for me was a big weight off my shoulders, and it allowed me to, to sort of dive into the research on this and talk to experts and doctors and get opinions. It's all about just making sure that you're putting yourself in a frame of mind that allows you to focus on something. And for me, it hasn't been focusing on missing out on the season or missing next season. It's going to be about, my rehab and my journey and getting better at making those small incremental gains in the training room, but also in the weight room when that comes time. And eventually I'll get on the ice, and then it's about making those small steps forward. And you really have to break it down. If I'm, coming out of surgery tomorrow thinking about returning on the ice, whenever that will be, that's a big gap to fill in there. So you have to really break it down incrementally and take it one step at a time. I've said it for years, but that's the only way to do it. And I think for me, the hard times have been made a lot easier by the people I've surrounded myself and my family and my friends and my teammates and, the staff in the organization, and the support overall that I've received over the last year or, last 10 months or whatever it's been, and continue to get has been overwhelming at times. And, but something that, means a lot to me and has really helped me out throughout this whole process. And being around the team in the last 2 months and 3 months has been huge for myself, and feel like you're part of that team. And it really has been great. And that support is something I'm going to continue leaning on over the next year or so. And we'll just keep making the steps and keep making progress. And I'm confident that I'm going to get there.
Ryan Bolding, NHL.com.
Hey, Gabe, thanks for talking to us. I know you mentioned conversation with Lonzo Ball a little bit. Have you had conversations with any other athletes or people who have undergone this? And can you kind of tell us a little bit more about the conversation that you had with him as far as this procedure is concerned?
Yeah, mostly been Lonzo, and I have another couple of contacts with some other guys that I'll reach out to during this rehab process. Lonzo and I mostly just, it was nice to talk to somebody that has gone through the same thing and same frustration regarding the injury. And sometimes some days you feel like you're making a little bit of progress, but then you get a constant reminder that you're not really that close. So just nice to be able to relate to somebody that's gone through it before. Obviously he would be a few weeks ahead of my schedule, but he's just kind of sharing that experience, and he shared some insight on what the first few weeks have been like, and I'm sure that's a guy that I'll be checking in with once in a while. And just again, it's nice to relate to somebody and for somebody to know what I'm talking about, and I know what he's talking about going through certain steps of the process. So yeah, really, I think that's what it comes down to, because when you talk to other people, it's hard for other people to understand unless it's a doctor or somebody that's gone through it. It's hard to explain. Same thing with any injury or chronic pain. Hard to explain to other people what that feels like and how it bothers you in certain situations or in certain ways. But having those people around you that have gone through it or have dealt with the same thing, I think that's important.
We'll take a few more here for Gabe. Arif Dean, Mile High Sports.
Hey, Gabe, as usual with you, you seem like you have a very positive mindset and you sound pretty optimistic about this. I guess for that 85% success rate number that you shared with us, how confident are you not just in that number, but in being able to make a recovery back to the level of play that you expect of yourself?
Yeah, I'm confident. I think it's an optimism and confidence that you need to have, and I think you're going to continue to explore options and stick to the plan that you put in place, and really keep executing it until you get there. I have spent lots of time thinking about it, and when you do come back, it's for me, I know it's not going to be perfect right off the get-go, and it's a long time away from the game, but I'm confident in the player I am. I'm confident in the athlete that I am, and I know that I can get myself ready. And I know, with the right guidance and with the right people around me, I'm confident that I'll get back out there and make a big impact on the ice.